Hello.
No, you have to do it like an anchor person.
Hello. I don't actually know how an anchor person talks, but I'm gonna...
There's so many of them on TikTok. They're like, welcome to the news. I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Hello. So back to what actually matters. Rachel just watched the first episode of Tarntype.
Season 2.
And this whole fucking series is going to be bait and switch, and I'm going to be very upset.
My favorite scene is in the second episode. You will be happy. Just get there.
As long as it's not bait and switch.
No, it's so
if I want my sex, I want my sex. Like, we've been doing this for too long, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the first season was 13 episodes for 12. How many was the first season?
Well,
I believe the first season was 12 of Tarntype.
yeah, because 13, quote unquote, was the special episode.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And we had some really good times in there, despite what people thought about the first few episodes and Reddit complaining about only liking after episode 6-ish and Poofai's storyline. So
Only liking after or liking before?
After Poofai's, yes. So Reddit is
it
on
because of all the fighting?
Yes. It's the non-con stuff that Reddit doesn't like, which is why they've gotten super upset about History 4, right?
Oh, yeah, because they've boycotted it since this last episode.
Yes, because everybody doesn't like when it's closer to real life yaoi than it is to boys love series. Guys, I hate to tell you, as someone who has read yaoi for over 20 years, I'm an old lady. This is why the series is called the Noona Verse, because we are old. We are proud to be old, but we are old. I have been reading manga and boys love specifically since I was probably 12 or 13, which means it's been over 15 or 20 years for me. So when I say that History 4 is a lot like a yaoi novel, what I mean is it's a lot like a yaoi novel. This shit is not new to anyone who has read yaoi. I'm not saying that what he did was right or that it wasn't sexual assault, but what I'm saying is I have to agree with Reddit in that if you want something that's soft and sweet, you should probably not watch History 4. I don't think that it's a series that you're going to like.
Well, I mean, but we're coming back from watching or from reading in the past, like stuff like Viewfinder.
Yes, exactly,
which
guys.
Is a lot harder for some people to digest.
Exactly. That's a great point. Like, Viewfinder is so good, but it is not a series that I would recommend to people. Like, I love it. It's also like Tarntype. I think I told my co-host the same thing. Like, I love Tarntype, but it is not a series that I would be like, hey guys, you should watch Tarntype. Nah, dude, like...
And yet I was the one that did that.
Don't watch Tarntype.
Because I was totally like, hey, Rachel, we should watch Tarntype.
It's fantastic. It is not a series that you recommend to other people. And despite the fact that Gulf has, I mean, last I looked, like, almost double or triple the amount of Instagram followers than any other boys love, like, actor, like... It's not a series that I would recommend to people who are either really getting into boys love for the first time or for people that are, new to the series or in general Thai dramas. I would say probably stay away from Tarntype.
Or the people that have issues with problematic topics.
Yeah, so I feel like Tarntype should be one of those series that has a warning at the beginning.
Explicit warning.
Explicit warnings for, like, non-con and bullying and a whole bunch of other things, which I'm okay with. Guys, I'm watching Heart of Stone, aka Man of Vengeance, which is literally a series about a guy who bullies this girl that he's loved for like 20 years. Trust me when I say, like, this is right in my wheelhouse. It is not, however, a series that I would say, oh yeah, everybody should watch this series because it's so good.
Well, that's going to the other one that we're watching with Behind Your Smile.
Aaron Yan is, if you don't know who Aaron Yan is, he's my love and my one true love. And I would highly recommend Behind Your Smile, which is really, really good. And different. It's fine. It's also a Taiwanese series, which I have said over and over again, produces the best stuff in boys love. And I don't necessarily agree that it's the best stuff in just regular dramas, but it is, they definitely set the bar.
I still think Koreans are kicking butt with the dramas.
So I think the reason that most people think that, and I agree, I'm not disagreeing with her. I think people think that because Goblin was so good and like production value, but also this is where I should have show notes, guys, but this is an episode 0 and we don't have show notes.
Oh, wait, this is episode 0? I thought this was just like shooting the shit.
But this is our fake episode.
Okay.
And
fake episode.
I cannot remember the writer's name, but she's the same one that did Eternal Monarch of Eternal, whatever it is. And she's
Monarch
done
the Eternal King.
Monarch the Eternal King. And she's
so
done
good.
A whole bunch of other series that people love. Gentleman's Dignity, which I really liked, although it had some problematic scenes. She did... Again, this is why we should have show notes. And next time we will have show notes. But she has done all of the famous like special series that most people know and or recognize. So, you know, if you get 2 good writers like you do with the writer for Goblin, then, you know, obviously the series and the production is going to be better. Cannot believe I can't think of her name. Eun Suk. Is that her name? Guys, you should leave a comment if you actually listen to this and tell us if I'm wrong, because I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm thinking it's Eun Suk, but I might be wrong. But back to Tarn Type.
Okay, look. You are only 1 episode into season 2.
It's true. And I've only watched 1 episode because I've been waiting for this bitch to get over here so that we can watch it. And it's not terrible.
But I will say, even though I have seen season 2, I've probably watched season 1 way more. Like way, way more. Season 1 is just chef's kiss for that. So
I'm over here nodding if you could see me. So I can't tell you how many times I've watched the first 4 episodes over and over again. And sometimes I go all the way to the Pufai arc. But most times I just watch until the shower scene, really, which I like the shower scene. I know it's a non-con and most people are very unhappy about it.
But you said that the book did it better.
So the book did do it better. So if you have read the book, I highly recommend reading the book. The book does not mess around with the whole like non-con thing. Tarn basically apologizes. Spoiler alert! Tarn basically apologizes for the fact that he realizes that he's pushing Type into things that he's not ready for. And when he realizes that he likes Type, he stops it immediately. And there is no more non-con. I understand that some people do not like Mame. And I cannot speak for her other series because I have not read Love by Chance, though I have watched it thanks to Tristan. And I think that Love by Chance is good. It's not my favorite series.
I mean, again, lots of problems.
But yeah, so Love by Chance is a lot better though.
But yeah, Pete and A are great. But then you get the story arc of Techno and Claw, whatever.
Claw.
Yeah. That entire arc could have just been scrapped.
Is awful, guys. Yeah. Guys, I'm not condoning rape in any shape or form. I know that it's weird for me to say after saying that History 4 is fine. It's weird for me to then go back and say that it's not okay for Claw and No to do the same thing in Love by Chance, but it was weird.
But it's a different context. So if you think about it, so Techno, yes, was drunk. But where you have in History 4, the younger brother goes
Young GA.
He goes through the process of verifying, you know who I am. You like he talks to him beforehand and you can pretty much tell that while the situation is a little iffy, they're both really into it. You do not get that sense, even though Techno says later on, at least in the show, that he liked it. To me, it's a very different scenario.
It is. So Yang Jie asks Xingxi, "Do you know who I am?" And when he confirms that he knows who he is, he doesn't kiss him, because obviously that doesn't happen until later. Again, spoiler alert. He asks if he knows who he is, and then kisses his face and tells him that he will kiss him on the lips the next day when he's awake and more sober. So for me, there was never a moment. I understand. I'm not disagreeing with people that say that, you cannot consent when you're that drunk. I do not disagree. But I do say that this is a yaoi trope, again, that has been in yaoi for a very long time. And sometimes I just want it that way. Like, I also am biased, as I've told Tristan before I started this series. I really like the brother trope.
The stepbrother.
I like the stepbrother trope. Like, I don't see you as a brother because I'm in love with you and you're amazing. And they, the actors are fantastic and they have really great chemistry, which again doesn't, excuse what happened, but it isn't the same. In the Clano verse, there's no confirmation of what's going on before it happens. And that's wrong to me.
Well, that, and he lied about it afterwards.
Yes, and he lied about it, which, if we're going to get into Lovely Writer 6, is one of the reasons that Jean was so upset with Nubsib, because while Reddit was totally not on board with Jean being upset, I totally disagree. I don't want people to lie to me in my life, and especially not people that I might be falling in love with. Like, man or woman, like, I don't want you to lie to me. If you have something to say to me, or if I don't remember properly how it is that we grew up or knew each other, then maybe we shouldn't have a relationship if you can't be honest with me. I feel like that's the problem with Nubsib and Jean more than anything. I think Tristan disagrees because she was thinking he overreacted. I got that feeling.
It's not that I think he overreacted. Like, yes, I get that he was upset, but he got so upset to the point where he wouldn't let Nubsib explain, even though Nubsib asked him to let him explain multiple times. Like, Jean just wouldn't let him.
In Jean's defense, there were multiple times where there was, I don't know if it was a directorial thing or if it was in the script that way. There was lots of silences in that last part where he could have just interjected.
Yes.
Hey, dude, we knew each other, but this is why I didn't tell you.
But do you think that Jean would have actually listened or just yelled over him?
I don't think Jean is the yelling type, but in response to your other question, I don't know that Jean would have listened. I'm pretty sure he would have stormed out like he has.
I think he was already
gone.
Like, his mind was just there. Like, you're either moving out or I'm leaving. Like, I'm not listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, he was already gone.
Yeah, no, there was no let's talk about this. So I'm hoping we'll get that resolved in the next episode. Probably not, because we're only 6 episodes in. But
guys, I watched this trailer and I was so excited. I didn't think we were going in this direction, honestly. I watched this trailer way after Tristan had shown me this series because, to be perfectly honest, I was not sure that this was a series for me. We are, of course, talking about Lovely Writer.
That's right. You didn't like the first episode.
I did not like the first episode. I did not like the second episode. And I felt like people were scheming too much against Jean through most of the first couple of episodes.
Oh, yeah. Like with Hin and his producer.
That is correct. I did not like any of them. So my thing is, I have grown to love Jean, and mostly because he's adorable, and also because Nubsib is very, very aware of like boundaries between them, which I really like. So guys, I can like History 4 and also like the boundaries that Jean sets, because as Tristan can attest, one of my favorite episodes and scenes out of the first 6 episodes is the scene where Jean is totally totally drunk off his mind, does not know what's going on. And he tries to basically jump Nubsib, and Nubsib's like, no, I want to wait until we're both ready, aka you don't know what the hell you're doing, please stop. So like I can differentiate between consent and non-consent scenes before that gets thrown to us as, you know, a yelling
double standards.
Double standards. But it took me about 3 episodes before I liked Lovely Rider. Lovely Rider is really good, but the scheming got to me, as Tristan can say, in the first couple of episodes. Why were we talking about this? We had a point to this. I don't remember. I don't remember.
We went from that to Jean not listening to Nubsib.
Yeah, Jean not listening to Nubsib. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that Lovely Rider is fantastic. And I think that there were several times where Nubsib could have explained what happened in that last episode in 6, and he did not, which is really kind of cruddy.
You know what tomorrow is, right?
Tomorrow is We Best Love, guys.
I'm so excited.
There's no better series. If you haven't watched We Best Love, I can't even with this series. I literally watch Sam Lin crying just because I like to see him cry.
He's fantastic at it.
The reason that this is in my top 3, and I will fight Tristan to the death because it's not in her top 3.
To be fair, you haven't watched the other 2 that are in my top 3.
That's true. I have not, because fuck reincarnation series.
You're going to watch it.
I know everybody's going to be upset about that one. It's fine.
Until We Meet Again is fantastic. Don't even.
So We Best Love and the emotional scenes are what make the whole series. So Reddit has a rumor that I don't know that has ever been defined, and I had to say it to Tristan too because she had not heard it. But there is a rumor on Reddit that the director actually lets the 2 actors improv several scenes because they just get so into it and they're so perfect that like it flows well with the series. But even past that, Sam Lin and you have these emotional displays that like no other actor has literally ever touched for me. Never. 0. Ever. I'm talking Het series, BL series, all series in general. No one has ever gotten the level of emotional display that Sam and you have. Tristan disagrees. She's giving me the look.
I'm just sitting here like, we've seen a lot of dramas.
Guys, I've been watching dramas since 2005. Tristan is not far behind me.
2006.
That is correct. We are old ladies. Again, that is why our series is called Noona Verse. We are old ladies. We have watched a ton of stuff. There is no one that does emotion like Sam Lin and you. So if you have not watched We Best Love, it is something that you should definitely give a chance to because the first season is so good. Also, there are no terrible BL tropes other than the weird stalker thing. Obviously, that's a problem, but it isn't highlighted to an extent where I feel like it's an actual issue in the series.
I thought it was endearing. And that just might be because I'm a little twisted, but like whole, it was just endearing.
It was. Not to give it too much away if you haven't seen it, but the stalker-esque stuff or trope that's in the first season is not like, it isn't toxic in any way.
It's not like I'm going to follow you around and like you are the air that breathes and I'm going to take pictures of you everywhere and no, it's none of that.
Exactly.
It's I'm going to try to configure situations to where we get to spend time together.
Exactly.
But there's no harm in it. There is nothing harmful going on in that situation.
So some people might disagree and say that the harm is that, he blackmailed him into having a relationship. But Sam cuts that off as soon as he realizes that it could be toxic, or Galdashi, excuse me. I will always probably refer to them as their actual name rather than their stage name. But Galdashi basically cuts that off as soon as he realizes that it could be toxic and that he's getting too close to Yu's character.
Yep.
So I don't feel like that's toxic at all. Let me back up 1 second and say it's probably a little toxic. You should not stalk people. It's bad. That happens in both Het series. Yeah, that happens in both Het series and BL series. However, so
yeah. But here's the thing, like, why do we condone it more in hetero situations than we do in BL situations?
It's true. The BL community is a lot smaller, guys. So the reason that it's noisier in the BL community is because there are less of us. In the community where there is only straight couples, you barely hear anything about it. And a lot of series follow that same trope. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, but I honestly can't think of one.
I was too, but
yeah, I can't think of one. I feel like it's been a while since I've watched anything that's tropey.
A little bit Cheese in the Trap.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I didn't really care for that much.
So disappointing too, because Kim Ga-eun, such a fantastic actress. If I said her name wrong, you can scream at me. It's fine. She's one of my favorites. Obviously, she was in Goblin. She was in Monarch. She's been in so many things, and she's so good. And again, we're going to have show notes the next time, guys, so don't make fun of me too hard. But Park, the guy that is the main lead in Cheese in the Trap.
I didn't like the main lead. I liked the second male lead.
Yeah, so most people didn't. Did you watch the movie?
No.
Yeah, so the movie was much better.
Was it?
Yes. They tried to fix all the problems that they had in the original series.
Really? Because there was a lot.
There was a lot of problems in the original. There was a lot of problems in the original series. A lot of problems.
But I was trying to think, like, tropes for, like, he kind of does that a bit. He does.
I will say, I will say that in regards to BL series, Vincenzo is not a BL series, despite what TikTok and YouTube want you to believe.
No, but you do not have any way of saying anything about this show because you aren't watching it.
It's true, guys. I'm not.
I hate you a little bit because I keep wanting you to watch this because it's actually really good.
So let me just preface this and say Song Joong-ki has a baby face that kind of creeps me out. The last thing that I watched him in was Descendants of the Sun. And I'm all for the Song couple until it got super toxic, which is something else that we're going to talk about. Not in this episode, but something else we will talk about. So I loved the Song couple because they had a ton of chemistry in Descendants of the Sun. But guys, you cannot put two people together in real life from series. It's not how it works.
I mean, we try.
You can try.
But shipping characters and shipping actors is completely different.
You can do it in your head.
Yeah.
And you can be happy about it.
As long as you're happy for them in different situations.
That is correct. But don't continue this ship when they're real people, guys. Like, they're real actors. It's fine to do it in your head or for a joke, but you have to be able to differentiate between what's fantasy and what isn't. And the reason I feel like, and I might be biased, the Song couple had a lot of problems is because their relationship started because people would not stop talking about them. But past all of that, Descendants of the Sun was fantastic. They had a lot of chemistry. I don't typically like military series, but it was good.
Oh, is that why you don't like 1,000 Stars?
That is probably why I don't really like 1,000 Stars.
I was wondering.
Also, they could kiss any time now, and that would be fine.
It's GMMTV. They're weird about kissing. But no, you should be watching Vincenzo for the guy from 2 p.m., who is fantastic. And is the love of my life.
I agree with Tristan, guys. I want to watch it, but on the other hand, like
No, it's actually really good. And it's funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
there's a whole FMV on YouTube about the funny way that people keep pronouncing his name. And I watched it and it was like 10 freaking minutes long. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, nobody knows how to pronounce his
But
name.
apparently no one knows how to pronounce his name. And I'm like,
Well, some of them do it on purpose, but a lot of them can't pronounce it.
so that's cute and funny. And probably the only reason I would watch it. Also, I had to ask Tristan about 8 different times whether she was sure that it wasn't BL
Because of that one episode.
because of that one episode where they were like, oh yeah.
I mean, I would have been perfectly okay had it turned into that, but that's not what the episode was about, sadly.
Yeah.
I wanted it. I will always want BL in my regular K-dramas. I also will say that the K-dramas do BLs really well,
Yeah, they do.
but
So Tristan and I have a little thing going on where I am all about them beautiful Taiwanese series when it comes to BL. Tristan is all about them Korean drama series when it comes to BL. I will tell you, in my mind, Taiwanese series are only slightly better than BL. You know what would actually elevate BLs
for
in Korean?
more episodes.
More episodes. So Where Your Eyes Linger
Is so good.
I'm just gonna give a little plug. If you haven't watched it, go to Viki. You should spend the hour and a half, and I don't even think it's that long, on this series. There are like 8 episodes. They're 10 minutes long.
There's also the movie version.
Oh, and there's a movie, which I didn't know about, so I might have to watch that.
It's basically they put all the episodes together, and it may or may not have extended scenes depending on the director.
Which version? Oh, okay, so that's totally worth it then. But I will say that if you have not watched it, there are like 8 or 10 episodes. They're 10 minutes a piece. It is 8 episodes. They're 10 minutes a piece. And it is a series about a chaebol who falls in love with his bodyguard. And it is literally so good. There's not even any kissing until the end of the episode series, until the very end. But it isn't like Color Rush where it's a little uncomfortable. And I'm going to put a disclaimer here. I loved Color Rush despite the weird chemistry. But Where Your Eyes Linger has that fantastic kiss at the end. The couple obviously has really good chemistry. And the directorial episodes, the directorial venue, whatever you want to call it, is so good that people should watch it.
Well, so the same person or group does Mr. Heart, and then they're about to do, I think they did Wish You, because then they have got there's a person from Wish You, a person from Mr. Heart, and a person from Where Your Eyes Linger are all going to be in an upcoming historical BL.
I saw that,
which looks so cute.
That's a Tristan thing, guys. You will have to hear from her because I will not be watching that.
Yes, you will.
So she says that, but I will also not be watching Word of Honor. I know that that's a big one on Reddit.
That one's on my list because I loved Untamed. And this is supposed to have more of the skinship that gets past the censorships. So,
guys, I can't with China. So I don't necessarily disregard series just because they're Chinese, but I don't give them the same amount of interest that I would if they were Taiwanese or any other. It's fine for China, whatever. That's fine. But I will say that back to my original point, Taiwanese series are literally only better than Korean series because they develop their series more. All Korea would have to do, and specifically, obviously, South Korea would have to do, is create an actual series that was boys' love. And I would probably rate them better than Taiwanese. But right now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Have you ever watched anything that's as good as any of the histories? And I mean all together. Because Trapped was fantastic. Make Our Days Count was really good if you just totally disregard the last episode. And even
History 2
which I forget the name. That's the one that the volleyball series.
Either Crossing the Line or Boundary.
No, they call it Crossing the Line on Reddit. So I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
Crossing the Line. Yes. And Crossing the Line is really good. And also the kiss doesn't happen until later in that one either.
Mhm.
And I would say that there aren't any series that quite live up to the Taiwanese experience for me.
I mean, so I love Trapped. I do. But, and as much as I love the Korean, none of them are in my top 3.
Oh, yeah, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure all of her top 3 are Thai.
Yeah,
are Thai.
No, because we've got Until We Meet Again, Tarn Type, and I Told Sunset About You.
I still have not watched I Told Sunset About You.
We were going to watch it. It's okay. We'll get there.
I watched short video FMVs.
No, we're going to watch the whole series. It's fantastic.
I watched FMVs on YouTube because reasons.
Cheater.
So you will learn about me very quickly. I need that build up more than I need the actual like togetherness.
That's true. Give you little snippets.
Yeah, I need that build up. So this is the whole reason, and Tristan and I just had a conversation about this. This is the whole reason that Together is not one of my favorites.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the build up before they get together is so good, and then they get together and it's awful.
Well, I was like the build up in Manner of Death was pretty good.
Yeah, but that was even shorter.
Yeah.
Because Max kept giving googly eyes to
Okay,
Tool.
but that's Max and Tool.
Like,
They can't not look at each other like that.
I mean, Max has Mook now. I feel like Tool should be.
know. No, what's the new ship? There's a ghost ship. It's Tool and shit. I just saw that he posted something on Instagram with him and someone else.
Cal.
Was it Cal?
It was.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Cal.
I need this. Okay, I would be perfectly okay with them in a
Guys,
series together.
So Tool can have Cal as long as you leave Up for me.
No. But they have to be. It has to be Max, Tool, Cal, and Up.
No, she's wrong. It has to be Max with Mook is fine. Like, again.
Well, yeah, no, she can be there too.
Yes.
But
again, I'm going to interject that I am not an actor shipper, and I do it in my head, and there are certain
this
actors
is me
that I
doing
think
it in my head.
Yes.
It's okay.
And there are certain actors that I think are hot and certain actors that I don't like, but I am perfectly okay despite the controversy with Max and Mook.
Oh no,
And-
I'm happy for him.
Yes.
That they like when he finally announced it, I was like, oh yay, good for them.
I don't know if anybody actually read the transcript from the conference that he had. Did you read it?
Mm-mm.
It was really sad, guys.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
People need to get off his dick. I'm serious. Get off his dick. Like, if he wants to date a girl, that is fine. He is a human being who is allowed to love other people and he is allowed to date whomever he wants. And Max and Tool are always going to be like probably best friends for literally ever, I assume. And I am sure Max and Mook are aware of his relationship with Tool. So I don't think that's going to change. And there's literally zero reason to get on his dick about Mook. I think that if he's happy, that's all that matters. And if you search for the conference that he had about Mook, it is really it's like 5 minutes of so I read a transcript. I don't know if there's an actual YouTube video, but there's a transcript, and he apologizes almost every other word. Literally, Max, stop. We love you and we don't need it.
I don't understand being in a world where an actor feels like they need to apologize for being in a relationship with someone. We
Agreed.
should never have to put someone in that situation. It should be only happiness if they're happy. Like, and even if they're not, that's not our business. Like, they deserve to be able to make their own choices in their life about that.
Agreed. And Max seems really happy. And I think that's all that matters, guys. You just have to let them be happy. This stuff, I can't even tell you how angry I was when I found out that people went after Sam Lynn's girlfriend for the video
Oh, yeah, because she posted a cover of Yu's song.
She did. No, she posted a cover of We Best Love from season 1. That's why people were upset.
No, I thought that was Yu's song. Or is it just the...
Oh, so maybe it is Yu's song. I don't know if it's you.
I could be wrong. I know it's from the OST, but I thought it was
his
song. Okay.
So it is an OST version of We Best Love Fighting Number 1. And Sam Lynn's girlfriend, and I cannot remember her name, she's a cutie pie, posted her own version of it and was immediately drowned out by hateful comments and things that just never should have happened. It's very sad. From what I understand, and again, I spend a lot of time on Reddit, you will find, and Tristan spends a lot of time on TikTok. So we have kind of differing communities that we're a part of. But from what I understand from Reddit and from my own research, Sam tries to keep his relationship with the girl, and I apologize, I cannot remember her name, pretty like hush hush, because he's trying to promote We Best Love as best he can because he wants it to do well. And both he and you are super excited and really proud of their work, as they should be, because it's a fantastic series. But at the point where we're bullying Sam Lynn's girlfriend, I think we need to take a deep breath and back up, because I don't know anything about her, but I think she's adorable based on nothing that I know about her. But it's super sad. So I will say this whole first fake episode was supposed to be about kissing. So we're going to make the last 5 minutes of the episode actually about kissing. Actually, it might be more like 15 minutes. We'll see. But we're going to make
who we talk about.
It depends on who we're talking about. But we're going to make the last 15 minutes about kissing. I'm going to bring up the actual show notes that I have, which are, again, not much. I'm going to let Tristan start out, and I'm going to only say, Lee Jong-suk, go.
Oh, okay. So W, 2 worlds, jail scene, best kiss ever. So if anybody has not watched this series, like W, 2 worlds, Lee Jun-suk plays a comic book character, and the main character girl gets thrust into this world that he is from. And there is a scene where she is in jail and they're talking, and she, not to give too much away, something happens, and then he turns around, and the kiss that he gives her in this scene is like breathtaking. I've probably seen it way too many times because I go back and watch it, because it's one of my favorite scenes of any drama kiss that I've seen. Oh, it's just so good.
So it's the first time that they've confirmed their feelings for each other too. And I feel like that helps. Han Hyo-ju is a fantastic actress who has a project upcoming this year that is a movie, I believe. I, again, did have show notes on this, but apparently did not save properly. But I believe she has a series upcoming this year, and I highly recommend anything that she's been in. She's a fantastic actress, and Lee Jong-suk is also fantastic as well. There's never been a kiss scene that he's not good at, but the prison scene in general is one of my favorite kiss scenes because they have confirmed their feelings for each other, and it is absolutely noticeable that the actors have really good chemistry, which does not always happen in series. So,
and it's not that let me kiss you with your eyes open while the camera pans around us because it's our first kiss. It is not that at all.
I hate that.
It is like a deep, soulful kiss, and it is perfect.
So I would say the only questionable kiss for me from Lee Jong-suk is probably in Pinocchio. I love the actress in Pinocchio. Don't get me wrong. But there were a lot of like tropes used in Pinocchio, which were weird to me because I just felt like it didn't need it. Pinocchio is a good series on its own and didn't really need it. But the chemistry between Lee Jong-suk and, I can't remember her name. Hey Sue, I'm gonna remember it in a few minutes. Anyway, she's the one that's been in Airs and everything else that everybody loves.
Park Shin-hye.
Park Shin-hye.
Aha.
That's what it is. See, I knew it would come to me sooner or later.
Didn't come to you.
It came to Tristan. But yes, so like it's weird to me, but I feel like that's probably the only series that I've ever seen with Lee Jung-suk in it that did not have really good chemistry. I'm not saying it's bad.
Now,
I like
is that
Pinocchio.
on her though? Because I've seen her in other stuff where she's had better kisses.
She has had better kisses. Lee Min-ho and Park Shin-hye have really good chemistry. I've heard that Memories of Alhambra is fantastic. I still have not watched
finished it yet.
I have not watched
I
it
like
yet.
the guy from that though.
Yeah.
He was in Secret Garden.
Yeah, no. So I do want to watch. That one's been on my list for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I will say I finished recently Her Private Life, which I did not think was going to be. I thought it was going to be one of those cute like fill-in series that I was just going to watch while I was waiting for something really good to come out. And I
You
just
ended
want
up
to
liking
say,
it, right?
oh my god,
So good.
so it's so relatable too.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was single, it's really uncomfortable to tell people that like I'm super into Korean dramas, and not just Korean dramas, Asian dramas in general. And it's not something that you can bring up with people, you know?
A lot of people won't understand it.
They will not.
Or will not be able to watch them with you.
Or will not be able to watch them with you. Also, there's still, in Japan, there's that word otaku and fujoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, fujoshi is not as negative as it was when it first came out. Because I remember when I was in college in early 2000, fujoshi was a negative term.
Mm-hmm.
It is not so much anymore, right? But in America,
it still is, but it's not as bad. It's more acceptable.
Exactly. So, and I read an article recently, and I don't remember who put it out, but I read an article that the Fujoshi girls had basically taken over the word and made it more positive.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where that comes from. In America, however, that weird otaku, which they consider both female and male, has never really gone away. And so it's not something that you talk about with other people, right? It's just not like you don't explain to people you're dating that like, yeah, I watch this stuff,
Well, that's like for the longest time, comic books were in that weeb otaku type trope.
Yes,
and now that when the Marvel movies came out, it was suddenly cool
now
to read comics.
That's correct.
We don't really get that, especially like with anime. You don't get that. There's no wide regional like, oh, this is more acceptable, which is why there's not as many people that can say, yes, I watch Asian dramas or listen to Asian music. I mean, yes, it's kind of getting out there now with the music genre, but not the dramas.
So BTS has been a huge push for, I feel like, K-pop to become more mainstream. I've been listening to K-pop for a very long time. And I know that like when I first started listening to it, Big Bang were super popular. And there were a lot of international fans, and we have a fan club, and there were a lot of people into it, but it isn't quite like it is with BTS, who have brought it into kind of this whole new world. So with all of that being said, Her Private Life is super relatable, right? This is a whole series about a woman who is older, who has a stable job that she super loves doing. She works at an art gallery, and she loves doing her job. And she is at night a huge Idol fan. She just loves idols. She cannot help herself. She follows a specific idol, but she follows him around. She has a website. She has pictures, everything. So it is super relatable and such a good series. And then she meets a guy who she starts liking for the first time. She didn't think she could actually like anybody that wasn't this idol that she idolized effectively. And so she falls in love with this dude, and he finds out about her secret life, quote unquote, and he is okay with it. And it's fantastic. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it without giving too much away, because the ending is so good. And the reason I brought this up is because there's a really good kiss that is not in my show notes about this series, because I finished the series after I wrote the show notes. But The kiss in the woodworking building is absolutely fantastic. And I think that's a Park Min-young thing because she has really good chemistry with Park Seo-joon too.
Yes.
And so I feel like that's part of the reason why she's really good. So if you haven't seen anything with her in it, I would highly recommend. She's fantastic, and I can't gush about her enough. So that would be my number 2. I want to mention, because I'm gonna sort of screw this up and do honorable mentions first. Reddit, YouTube, and all of the K-drama websites have this thing for So Eun-gook. I just don't understand. I'm sorry. I love, don't get me wrong, I love So Eun-gook. I think he's adorable. And he, like, one of my favorite series with him in it is I Will Remember You. Most people will know him from Shopping King Louie. And he is adorable. He's a fantastic actor. He has a new series out with Park Bo-young that I did not know anything about until somebody told, I feel like it was Tristan that told me he plays Death or something. He plays Doom, I believe, is the way that it's done. And he has a new series with Park Bo-young that's supposed to be really good. I want to say that's him. I might be getting the series mixed up. I'd have to look again. Pretty sure it's him. On that note, though, people have a thing about So Eun-gook. I am not saying he's not a good actor.
It's the mark under his eye. I'm just gonna throw that out there because
that's a really good point, though. Like, I don't. So he was in the series.
He was in Master Sun, and he really drew my eye in Master Sun, but he didn't have any. I mean, he I wouldn't even consider him second male lead in that because the main characters were meant to be. So
I will tell you, one of my favorite series from him is going to be one of the smaller ones. And it was, so obviously Hello Monster, I Will Remember You, whatever you want to call it, is one of my favorites. But he also did, maybe that wasn't him. I'm looking through his list now because, again, my show notes are awful. I thought he did the Blood series, but I might be getting him mixed up with somebody else. I will tell you, though, if you have not watched Hello Monster, it's fantastic, and it's one of my favorites. It has all of the plot lines that I like. It has the whole Criminal Mind-esque kind of storyline, and it has the strong female lead, and it has the like psychopath killers, which is right down my alley. So Hello Monster is fantastic, and I highly recommend it. I do not know, however, what it is about him. I think he's adorable, and I have liked everything that he is in, and I'm not discounting anyone that likes his kisses, but I do not get it. I have to agree with Tristan that it is something about the mark that is under his eye. Because for me, Lee Jung-suk has a dip in his bottom lip. Guys,
we're not getting on a thirst trap here.
I don't know how to describe how sexy it is, but it is beyond. There is a photo shoot from Elle or one of the big major companies, and it's all on
the one
YouTube.
That he did right after getting out of military service.
No, so that one too, but I'm talking about the one where he shows
tattoos.
The one where he shows off all the tattoos.
It's all on YouTube to music. It is very Go watch it.
It's like there's something about Lee Jung-suk that like just takes my freaking breath away. Like it is that dip in the bottom of his lip that drives me up the wall. The things that I would do to his mouth.
PG-13.
Right. I'm going to keep it PG-13. Okay. So what this show is actually supposed to be about, and I'm trying to check the time so that we don't 52 minutes. So about 8 more minutes to go. No,
you were right. Sorry. I was looking this up because so it is her and him. Mm-hmm. It is a show called Doom at Your Service. Supposedly airs sometime in May.
We're going to watch this, guys. I will literally watch anything with Park Bo Young, but plus the fact that So Eun-gook is in it and he's never done anything that's bad.
Wait, is that? Oh, yes. It's got the dude from Run On in it. The guy that played the secondary lead in Run On. You haven't watched that one, but that one was really good. I like him. Okay.
Yeah, so I would say that, again, anything with Park Bo Young is worth giving a watch to. I'm going to just do a small shout out to Strong Woman, which is really good if you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So a quick rundown of what I wanted to talk about, which we're not probably going to talk about in 8 minutes. Kiss scenes in Asian dramas. So in Western dramas, up until about the 1960s, our kiss scenes consisted of pressing our mouths together and showing affection for each other. Specifically, I'm talking about things like, the old black and white series. I don't actually know
like
that.
Bewitched and
yes.
Sus,
so
yeah.
those super old series, like From Here to Eternity, or things like that. That just kind of anything with Humphrey Bogart. Let's just put it out there. Anything with Humphrey Bogart, who was gorgeous in his time, but the chemistry was a little different back then, right? So
yeah, you press your lips, you arch your neck, and then you stand there with your lips pressed against you until the screen goes black.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And they did that, and it was fine. And for a lot of the older movies, I didn't have a problem. Like, I love old movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love black and white movies. So my favorite movies are Alfred Hitchcock movies, and I will never say no to watching an Alfred Hitchcock movie. However, when I am watching a Korean drama, I do not want to see the actors push their lips together, pan around, and end the scene.
Generally have their eyes open too.
And have their eyes open, or the girl like surprised that the guy's kissing him. No, girlfriend, like maybe for the first 2 seconds you didn't expect him to kiss you, but after that, like, you are going to experience something where you're going to have emotions, and you're not just going to keep staring at him with this wide-eyed doe expression that does nothing for anyone.
Yeah, because eventually when you get kissed, you either A, push someone away, or B, close your eyes and reciprocate the kiss.
That is correct. So I'm going to throw in a recent drama. Man of Vengeance, aka Heart of Stone, whatever we're calling it. Very strange. I again, this is only my second Lakorn that I've ever watched, so I don't have a lot of experience with Thai dramas. But I will say that one of the reasons that I really like the main couple is because when they kiss, the guy is obviously bullying the girl, but she doesn't just like stand there like some statue. She tries to push him away, and when that doesn't work, she gives up. She lets him kiss her for a second, and her eyes are closed. And then when he's done, she says, "Are you done?" Granted, he tells her no, but there's a moment there that's like, thank God, some female finally said, like, are you done screwing with me? Like, it's over now. Like, get off of me. Doesn't just stand there like some of these Korean dramas that are just awful. Which is why I made the comment to Tristan that there are a lot of really good kisses in Korean dramas. So while in Western dramas we caught up to the standards I feel like that it should be at much quicker, right? So Pretty Woman and series in the 80s and 90s really kind of set the standard for what kisses should be like on stage or on screen in general, because Richard Gere and Julia Roberts are obviously like one of our favorites. Everybody, I mean, everybody loves them, right? But then it took a long time for kisses to be normal in Korean dramas, because back in 2010 they were not anything like they are today. Now they're getting better, although I do have to say Korean standards for television are still pretty freaking awful, and they don't really help anything. I don't want to see my women submissive and just standing there like innocent doves that don't know what to do. I don't. I have no desire. Women are strong and powerful and know what they want and go after what they want. And I want to see that portrayed in a drama realistically.
See, you get that more in the Taiwanese dramas.
And it's true.
The Korean dramas prefer having that trope.
It's true. Absolutely. So I will say there are a whole bunch of Korean dramas that are good. And I'm not saying that all of them are bad.
And we haven't watched all of them also.
There's no way that we could have watched every single one. But I will say that I've never, me personally, and there are a lot of Taiwanese dramas, I've never personally seen a Taiwanese drama where I've been like, the chemistry, the kissing, the scenes in general are bad. They're just not good. I have never seen a Taiwanese drama that is that way. If you haven't seen it, Behind Your Smile has fantastic kiss scenes. And Before We Are Married.
Yes.
So I also have a thing for the main actor in Before We're Married. So I feel like that's one of the reasons I might be a little biased. He's adorable and he's been in a whole bunch of things that I've watched and loved. But if you haven't seen that one, I would say it is really good as well. With that in mind, I will say China doesn't even come in the running.
Yeah, their censorships are too much.
I will say though, Dating in the Kitchen was really good. But it was one of the newer ones, and the kiss scenes were good. But also the series was a little older, right? So maybe that's why it was better. But Dating in the Kitchen had some good scenes. I have a small love for Love 020, which is the tropiest series in the face of the planet.
Yeah, they redid that, right? And
no,
they just are remaking, or they just finished it, or it's still on air. It was a Japanese remake. I'm just saying, they made a remake for it. I will already go ahead and say I didn't even like the trailer for it.
Oh,
so
that's sad. That's sad.
To each their own. But
if you haven't seen Love 020, it's fantastic. But it's super tropey, and China doesn't hide the fact that it's a funny, fun, crazy, dumb series. It's literally just a series about two people who are kids that fall in love. I mean, that's effectively what it is.
Have you watched Go-Go Squid?
No.
See, I started watching that. It's apparently really good. It just got a second season. But I'm working through it. I think I'm only on like the second episode.
Well, I have not watched it, but I will say I need more kisses. I need more kisses that are realistic and good. I just want to leave off here that I have a whole list of series right here in front of me for show notes that are really good. I just want to name a few that I feel have to be named. Suspicious Partners. So good. And if you haven't watched it, you absolutely must watch it. It's Okay, That's Love is a whole series about mental disorder that's fantastic. I also have a crush on the main female lead on that one, and I will watch anything that she's in. And then the only other one that I want to mention is the tiptoe kiss in Queen In-hyun's Man, which is so good. And that has the time travel trope, which I'm assuming everyone loves the time travel trope. Those are a few that have to be said.
It depends, because Tomorrow with You I couldn't finish.
Tomorrow with You. Which one is that? It sounds vaguely familiar.
It had the chick from, I want to say Oh My Venus.
Oh, Shinmin, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
What is her name?
Wrong. But I could not finish that one.
This is why we should have show notes next time, guys.
Or have, my drama list up all the time.
Or have it up all the time. So I love the time trope, the time travel trope. However, it's not for everybody.
No,
so
I love it. This one just I could not watch it.
I know which one you're talking about. That's the girl that's dating my man too, I believe.
Shinmin, yeah. So, she's yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
She is.
She's dating my man, guys. Like, I know exactly who she's dating. I've been in the Korean drama too long, guys. Too long. He had throat cancer, however, and he's just recently back. I believe there's rumors that he's supposedly reading a few different scripts to
please
come
say
back.
yes. I want it.
Yeah. So I could really, I loved Uncontrollably Fond. However, apparently everyone hated it. I loved it and think it's absolutely adorable. If you haven't seen it, it's just dumb romance. And sometimes, especially after 2020 and coronavirus, that's all you need.
Yes,
but
it is.
Uncontrollably Fond is fantastic. It's not a series for everybody. It's just romancy. So, you know, I would say give it a chance. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's all we had to talk about tonight. We don't have anything spectacular for you guys, and I know the episode has been a little all over the place. I promise that next time we will have show notes.
An actual plan.
And an actual plan. Again, though, this was just episode 0 where we kind of were testing out everything. So
we're testing the mics.
We were testing the mics and how everything worked, and we're going to have to see how Audacity works. So if you have any comments, we have a website that is half put together. I will make sure that the message form actually lets you submit messages to us. Our website is going to be thenoonaverse.com. We will be on Twitter at the Noona Verse, and we will be on IG at the Noona Verse. We probably won't have any content up, but that is because we're brand spanking new. If you want to shoot us a message, feel free to message us from our website or from our email address at thenoonaverse@gmail.com. Tristan's not going to say anything.
That's because I'm half asleep.
She's half asleep apparently and not going to say anything. So there's no sign off right now. We're not that cool, but we do love you all and we appreciate you listening to us. Have a good night.
Thank you.